PostTV at NAB 2014. I'm Marc Loftus, Senior Editor and Director of Web Content for Post, and I'm here with Nvidia's Greg Estes.
Hey Mark, how are you?
Doing well. Thanks for joining us again, Greg.
Glad to do it.
So it's another NAB. You guys always have news coming out, and I know that you've got a couple of different themes, or a theme and a couple of different bullet points that you want to hit on. What's the theme for the show? And you're not going to surprise me with 4K in the cloud, because I think everybody's expecting that, but you're in agreement.
Yeah, we are. Certainly there's a lot of people talking about 4K, and we're among them. We've been doing 4K for a while, so it isn't a new thing for us per se. But I think what's happening is the market is maturing. You're starting to see a lot of the different software vendors, you know, from Adobe and Autodesk and others, certainly in our booth, coming out with different pieces of 4K workflows, and so we're showing a variety of that with our partners Dell and Hewlett-Packard in our booth. And we're showing not only that you can display in 4K, but that you can do processing in 4K. So for instance, one thing that we're super excited about is we've worked with Red and Adobe, and we're showing not only 4K debayering in real time, but 6K debayering. So,
really?
You know, we kind of blew through 4K and then moving on. So for people who have workflows that are using RAW files that are even higher resolution, we're excited to show that. So we're doing that debayering without the need for a Red Rocket card, so that's pretty cool.
Which product is that, then?
That's the Nvidia Quadro K6000.
K6000, okay.
So we got the K6000 in an HP Z820 workstation and showing it in all its beautiful color in there, and it's pretty cool.
Very cool, nice. You also had said you've got some cloud news that you could share with us.
We do. We have a brand around our cloud and virtualization products. It's called Grid. Yep. And so we're showing Grid in several different flavors. One is the kind of thing that you would have if you were a big enterprise, CNN or the BBC or maybe a major movie studio where you've got a lot of users and you want something to have on premises. We're showing that. To have Grid to be able to virtualize all of the artists' desktops. So you would bring that desktop out to effectively any client. So you could be using something very light, MacBook Air or some really thin client, but you'd have all of that capability of the GPU accelerated application delivered out to those artists. Typically there you would be working with like a VMware or a Citrix to have a whole virtualization implementation, but that's not right for everybody. So we have a couple other flavors of Grid. The next one is what we call the Grid Visual Computing Appliance, or Grid VCA. Yep. That's perfect if you were like, let's say you were a 20-person ad agency or something. You're not going to put in a whole VMware implementation. But this would deliver out that same virtualization, but it's an appliance, just a 4U rack mount thing that you would use. And Nvidia has all of the software in there. So you would have up to 8 artists, let's say, getting Adobe Creative Cloud or Maya or whatever your tools are, delivered to you again on any desktop, but all the power is being rendered elsewhere.
Okay. The third party, the software developers, have to do something so that it can be optimized to take advantage of that type of a workflow, a grid type of thing. But you do have a lot of those software developers that have started to do that. There are a lot of partners.
Yeah, actually, strictly speaking, they don't have to do anything to take advantage of it. No, it just kind of works, because what's happening is in the server, it's running Windows there, and as far as that application is concerned, it's just running an instance of Windows. Then we take that, we compress it, we send it along the wire to the user, who could be on any Mac, Windows, or Linux workstation, and they just get that delivered to them in a window. And we read the keyboard and mouse movements so fast so that it appears to the user like that application is local to them. So they don't actually have to do anything different. The one thing that we're doing with them is we're working with them to get it certified, so that we make sure there's a right workflow and that everything works. And we also want it so that if one of our customers has one of these implementations and they have to do a service call, that they call up Adobe or whoever it is and say, hey, I got a problem with my Grid system running Photoshop or whatever, and the person on the other end of the line does go, okay, what's Grid? Yeah. Right? So we're very careful to make sure that we're safe and sane working with our software partners us to bring it to market.
And there are quite a few certified partners. I know the demos I've seen, there's been, I guess, Max demos. And
again, everything works pretty much exactly in the same way that it would if you just had a Windows workstation as far as the app is concerned.
Right.
The third thing I was going to talk about before we run out of time here is we're also showing Amazon with Amazon Web Services. So now you're in the public cloud. So for users who want to have an application, Amazon has Nvidia GPUs in the cloud now. So you can run those same applications from the public cloud out to a user. So again, that's not going to be for everybody, but for instance, if you wanted to scale up really quickly and be able to have 2 new users come on board without setting them up with machines or whatever, you can just dial that up and have one of those applications delivered from the Amazon cloud.
Right.
So that's awesome too.
And you've got an event going on later on tonight, your Limelight event.
We do, yeah. So it's become something of a tradition here at NAB, and we're excited about that. We'll have 500 or so of our customers and 21 actually of our partners there as well, so that's a great thing.
Well, we appreciate you coming by the Post booth to share some of this news with our viewers, and have a great show.
Thanks a lot, Mark. Really appreciate it.
Thanks.